New dangers face America in the 21st century, and they require a new breed of hero. From squad rooms, courtrooms, and emergency rooms, these patriots bring help to the helpless and law to the lawless. These are their stories, tales of hope, of victory, of triumph. Join us for the true life adventures of American heroes. And now your host, Emmy Award-winning journalist, Stephen Blake.
Good evening. I'm Stephen Blake, and welcome to a very special edition of American Heroes. Once upon a time, not so long ago, American citizens were guaranteed the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But for many here in the 21st century, the so-called American dream is now nothing more than a fairy tale. Tonight on American Heroes, we'll take a look at how one of those fairy tales came to life, how fantasy became reality, and how the people of one American city wondered if truth is indeed stranger than fiction. Nashville, Tennessee. Known worldwide as the home of country music, the Tennessee capital is affectionately referred to as the Athens of the South. To many, Nashville was once considered the model for the New South. Progressive, diverse, even cosmopolitan, Nashville was an idyllic city of hope and promise. But when the region's economy failed along with the rest of the country's, it became clear that not even Music City was immune to the outbreak of the social disease afflicting the rest of America.
I do think that calling it a crime wave is overstating the case a little bit. But with state and federal funds gone, well, let's just say that our men and women of law enforcement are just have their work cut out for them.
But Mr. Mayor, I have another question. I have to ask you one more. Is it true that the National Guard units will be assisting the city's police force?
Where do you get your information? The Inquirer? You people should check your facts more carefully. Excuse me.
But Mr. Mayor, we have one...
No. The police department and the DA's office have done more than their fair share trying to keep the city together. It's time for Nashville's elected officials to get involved and do the right thing.
Mr. Elkin's song has become a familiar one in Nashville, as in the rest of the country. More money, more cops, more lawyers, more jails. But leave it to Music City to whistle a new tune. Tucked between a maze of interstates inside the downtown loop, Berry Hill is a working-class neighborhood with working-class problems.
Busted right on through that door. Never seen anything like it before in my life.
Irene Jacoby knows all about the problems in Berry Hill. She's lived here for over 10 years. On the night of May 22nd, Irene tried to document some of what she says was a regular night at the home of her neighbors Daniel and Mary Jean Pierwitz. What Irene saw that night would captivate a nation.
I don't know. I ain't never done seen anything like what happened that night, except in one of them movie videos.
So what exactly happened that night, Irene?
Old Danny boy was stomping Jeannie good. I don't know why, and she probably didn't either. Danny didn't need much of an excuse once he put a pint of hooch down him. And then I heard it. A thumping, scratchy sound coming from up top the building. Well, it was dark and all, and I couldn't see much. And then all of a sudden, there he was. He busted through that door like it was cardboard, swept on through there like a tornado of vengeance, and opened up a can of Southern fried whoop-ass on old Danny boy.
Go ahead, you hit him good, knock him down.
Beat him stupider than George W. I tell you what, I seen wreckers pull cars away that were in better shape than Danny.
What did the attacker look like?
Hard to say. I mean, it was dark and it all happens fast. Man in black, kind of like Cash, except he was wearing a mask and carrying a walking stick or some such implement. And his eyes, Jesus Christ, superstar, I ain't never seen nothing like it before. It was like looking into the face of death itself.
Were you frightened?
No, sir. Not a bit. Oh, I know it's gonna sound kind of crazy, but old Ninja Boy, he made me feel right safe. I wasn't scared at all, no, sir.
But unlike Irene Jacoby, many residents of Nashville would become frightened of their mysterious new resident. When American Heroes returns, we'll meet some of these people and discover their very different reasons for being afraid of the dark.
Nashville's crime-fighting masked man was involved in another incident last night, this time in Antioch, as a suspected drug dealer was beaten unconscious.
The masked man left a note taped to the suspect's forehead, calling himself the Crusader. Despite this latest development, Metro Police have more questions than ever about the man who seems to have the entire city talking.
As Nashville's mysterious new benefactor waged his war on crime, public opinion seemed to support him.
I had 2 girlfriends mugged in broad daylight last year. And then I had another friend raped right here in this garage. Almost quit my job. I don't even carry my mace now.
Heck, these streets never been safer. People are actually starting to come down here and spend a little money. I'll tell you something else, too. Folks around here, they love him.
Good morning, Nashville. WFYI Talk Radio 960, a little after 6 o'clock in the morning.
The police have been AWOL for the last 3 years while law-abiding, tax-paying citizens have been terrorized. And the people are fed up, brother.
Well, of course they are. You know, it's just a matter of time until somebody with some cojones decided to stand up to these thugs. And all I've got to say is God bless the Crusader.
Not all Nashvillians are behind the city's new mystery man, including many in the legal community.
Let's not forget that the Crusader's victims haven't even been charged with crimes. Every American has the right to a fair trial and equal protection under the law, no matter how scared or angry we are.
Look, the bad guys are scared. The public feels safer than it ever has. I don't really see a problem here. And I mean this Crusader guy. He's a hero to many. And as long as he stays out of our way and doesn't kill anyone, this cat has my vote. Mine too.
And while most Metro officers support the masked man, there is some concern among the force's upper ranks.
It's just another reason to ignore the department's needs. What we really need are more officers on the street and more public support so that we can do our jobs.
Street justice has never been an effective crime-fighting strategy. It will ultimately cause more harm than good.
The city's mysterious masked crime fighter has captured the hearts and minds of Nashvillians, and now the Crusader's going nationwide. A tidal wave of merchandising has rolled across the South into the Northeast and all the way out to the West Coast. T-shirts, posters, bumper stickers, even comic books that are outselling every other title on the racks. Local artist Christopher Croft has recently cashed in on the Crusader phenomenon with comic adventures of Nashville's first superhero.
I've been reading comic books since I was like in diapers, and never in a million years did I ever think that Nashville, Nashville of all places, would get a bona fide superhero. This is cool. He's battling a mad bomber at a Titans game. Oh, and I got a hippie terrorist at Grassmere Park. Got a good supervillain for him next month. It's gonna be, what's his name? Oh, the Urban Cowboy. Music Rogan's wasted, man. It's gonna be great.
So what's the vigilante's secret identity?
Some mysteries are just better left unsolved.
This type of hero worship can be traced back throughout all of recorded history, from the Greek gods and ancient pharaohs all the way up to Bernie Getz and professional wrestling. We Americans do love our heroes. We build a cult of personality around them. And right or wrong, this Crusader, in many people's minds, is perceived as a hero. He's a voice of the people, a modern-day Robin Hood, if you will, and the people live vicariously through him. This is not new or unusual.
But is the Crusader really looking out for the man on the street, or is he just looking for his 15 minutes?
You'll have to ask him.
Well, boys and girls, it was just a matter of time. Now, somebody wants to sue the Crusader.
Well, good luck with that. That's all I gotta say.
My client was brutally beaten by this costume marauder in an unprovoked attack and without cause. This blatant violation of Mr. Strickland's civil rights will not stand.
How about it, son? Can you tell us what really happened last night?
Man, we was...
My client doesn't feel it's appropriate to speak at this time.
Man, bullshit, man. Give me that mic. Check. This thing on? Check this out. Last night what happened was, me and my homies, we was out in the hood, just playing some ball, just chilling, all right? Next thing you know, man, this white boy jumped from out of nowhere, man, wearing his little pajamas and shit, throwing brothers around, knocking shit over, scaring the bitches and shit, you know what I'm saying?
The police department have sat idly by while this so-called Crusader has abused and beaten young, upstanding men like Mr. Strickland.
He ought to kicked his ass.
And because of their incompetence, my client may never have full use of his uvula again.
Can you say uvula on TV?
So you're going to sue the Crusader?
Since the police department and the lawmakers of this fair city don't seem to care about the civil rights of our young men and women of color, we will make them care. We hold them responsible for my client's injuries. And because of this, we have filed suit against the city, not the Crusader.
Kick some booty, sister.
After avoiding the public spotlight for over 3 months, the Crusader was finally caught in action. But what happened next would plunge a city into chaos.
I'm not exactly sure really what happened. It was all so fast.
A daring act of heroism that ended in tragedy.
Kill him! He's gonna kill me!
The Crusader, hero or murderer? When we return, a shocking look at the Crusader in action, a city in turmoil, and the man behind the mask. Only on American Heroes. On August 7th, 2 armed gunmen stormed this locally owned pawn shop and cash advance thrift on Franklin Road. Despite a wave of robberies and break-ins in this seedy neighborhood, Franklin Road Jewelry and Loan had been spared. Many attributed this to its owners, Jerry and Elaine Harrison, who were heavily involved in their community.
All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
But even good people fall on bad times. And that night, tragedy would finally catch up to the Harrisons, and the city would never be the same.
That's right. You know what time this is? It's time to get on the floor.
I was just leaving.
Oh, you want to leave, bitch? Sit on the floor. Yo, I hope you order no pizza, lady.
No answer, Elvis. Thanks.
Shut up, man. Clear her out. You open the safe.
Meanwhile, Jerry Harrison dials 911, but he knows that the police response time in this neighborhood is slow at best. He decides to take matters into his own hands.
Jerry was a peaceful man, but he did think that people should stand up for themselves. Still, this was no time to be a hero. Those boys were crazy in the head.
Like many in this city, Jerry Harrison was a big fan of the Crusader, and today he had a chance to emulate his hero.
Drop your weapons, you punks! Hey, get out of here! Yo, okay, old man. Put the shit on the deck before somebody gets hurt, man. Yo, man. Yo, give me some help.
See, wear the hard way.
Okay, superhero. Jerry, oh my God! Walking out that door. This guy's gonna chill, all right? Shoot this punk, Crusader! Shut up, faggot, man! Shoot him, he's gonna kill me! I'm gonna kill you if you don't shut the fuck up!
Jerry Harrison was pronounced dead on arrival with a gunshot wound to the throat. And while the videotaped evidence of the shooting is unclear as to who shot Jerry, the Crusader's efforts were not warmly received. Elaine Harrison, who has refused any on-camera interviews, holds the Crusader personally responsible for her husband's death.
Chief!
Mr. Elkins!
Chief!
Chief, stop!
Any word on the Crusader's whereabouts, Chief?
Well, we're asking it for the Crusader to come in for questioning.
Are you going to charge him? Not at this time. We do have video evidence of the crime and the testimony of several eyewitnesses that may help clear the Crusader, but he has to come in first.
What if he doesn't want to come in?
Then we'll drag him in.
That's all for now.
This is exactly what I was afraid of. This man is completely out of control. He's running amok, and Mr. Harrison has paid the ultimate price with his life. His life.
The people see this for what it is. For the past 3 months, the Crusaders made a laughingstock out of the cops.
Well, duh. They're just trying to distract us from their own incompetence. Sir.
He had no intention of killing that man. Besides, how many people would have been killed if he hadn't have shown up? The cops should just let him be, man.
After 2 days of pleading for the Crusader to come in, Metro Police decide to bring in their fugitive.
All right, everybody settle down, listen up. Everybody got your handouts? Okay, we know the fugitive has been monitoring our calls. He might even be tapped into 911, we just don't know. His area of operation, as far as we can tell, somewhere down here. We don't know, but we're gonna flush him out. A 1054 will come out from right here at James and 5th by the mall.
So it's an armed robbery?
Well, kind of. What we've got is a merchant downtown is going to send in a 1054. Now, that'll go into the 911 system. A minute later, it'll go on our frequencies. And that's when we'll have our units right here, here, and here. Okay, has anybody got any questions?
No, sir.
All right, boys, let's go fishing.
Attention all units, robbery in progress at James Robertson and 5th. Proceed with caution.
Everyone check your mags. Rubber rounds only. This is good, clean family fun, folks. Fire only on my command. See anything, Chuck? Negative. Sit down!
But we need a better view.
Sit down or go home. Your choice. There he is. Okay, suspect's in the area. Wait till he goes inside. What's he looking at? Who parked that car there? Everybody, go, go, go! You stay here. Come on, let's go. There you go, there you go. Warning shot, Chuck.
Watch out! Over there! Holy sh! Are you getting this? Give me some of that. Come on!
Thanks, ass.
Let's go!
This is Recon 1. The suspect's making it down.
Officers down! Officers down!
Units 5 and 7 converge on the south. North of you, south of me. 10-4. Enough of this shit. Take your shot. Take him down. You got him?
Yeah, I got him.
Nice shooting, cowgirl.
Amazing shot.
Suspect's gonna be down toward the south end of the mall.
10-4.
Come on, let's go.
Okay, he's over there.
Butch, Jesus Christ, you okay, man?
Oh, I'm fine. He went that way. Be careful, he's quick. Stay here, Butch.
Crusader easily avoiding capture by the police dragnet so far. Police report several minor casualties of the 20-some-odd officers combing the park. So far, there's no sign yet of apprehending him. This despite an apparent gunshot wound to the... Oh my God. Is that blood?
Crusader! Crusader! Can we have a word for the camera?
Yeah. I'd love for show.
Kill him!
Man, that son of a bitch is fast. Even with the bum leg. Cut the trailer and give me a position, Skyhawk. He's heading for the bridge, Lieutenant. 10-4.
There he is. You got him, you got him, you got him. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Right here, right here. Freeze, motherfucker! Come on! Come on! That's right, down on your knees, get down! Come on! Down, get down, motherfucker! Move it closer! Are you crazy? You want the fucking Emmy or what? Okay, that's it, right? Down on one knee, get down there, get down on your knees. Red leader one, we have a suspect at the front entrance of the mall. That's right, everything's cool, everything's cool.
Crusader, bloodied and beaten, mere moments away from reaching freedom this dark and stormy night.
All right, get on the ground, motherfucker.
I don't want any trouble.
All right, get on it. Stay right there. Get down. After we see who you are. Cuff this guy.
Get off me! Piece of shit! Get off me!
The arrest of Christopher Croft, aka the Crusader, seems to raise more questions than ever. Is he a superhero or a scam artist? A crime fighter or a capitalist? Was his crusade for justice sincere or just a publicity stunt? Is this life imitating art or the other way around? When American Heroes returns, the Crusader gets his day in court. It's the ending to a story you'll have to see to believe. Don't miss the conclusion to an astonishing American Heroes.
Quite the party we've got here today, huh, Doc?
Boy, you're telling me the last time I saw this many pissed off people was when the Titans lost the Super Bowl.
Case number 017865, the state of Tennessee versus Christopher Croft. All rise for the Honorable Judge Earl Ray Kenner. Be seated. We'll now ask the clerk to read the charges to the court.
In the case of People versus Croft, the charges are reckless endangerment, criminal negligence, assault with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest, assault on police officers, and the charge of manslaughter in the death of Gerald R. Harrison.
Mr. Croft, I have in my hands here a confession signed by you that states that you're this Crusader fella that's been running around the city for the last few months. I got that right, Mr. Croft?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you refuse counsel?
That's correct, sir.
Son, what kind of nonsense you fixing to pull on us here today?
I'm afraid I don't understand, sir.
Well, Carl Elkins over there has got a stack of papers a foot high, witnesses out the wazoo, and more pictures than Kodak. Says you done gone and killed a man.
Yes, sir. Mr. Elkins seems to be a very thorough man.
Then what in tarnation are you trying to pull on us, son? How in the hell are you going to enter a not guilty plea without a lawyer or a shrink to back you up? And if you think my jury is going to let you off on an insanity defense, you got another thing coming.
Your Honor, I'm not insane, and I have no intention of manipulating this court or this jury. I did do all the things that Mr. Elkins says that I did.
But you're still not guilty.
No, sir.
Your Honor, if I may.
Go ahead, Carl. Maybe you can figure this out.
Mr. Croft, do you deny the charges against you?
No.
Even the charge of manslaughter and the death of Jerry Harrison?
No. I mean, yes.
Then how can you still claim to be innocent?
I was operating under the authority given to me by the people of Nashville.
Say what, son?
Your Honor, if I may address the court.
Yeah, go ahead.
Every person in a society serves a purpose, a function. You sit the bench. Mr. Elkins fills out his many legal briefs, and she types down every word I say. But there's a void in our society that's gone empty for far too long, and we all know it. Doesn't matter whose fault it is. Could be the police. Could be the politicians. Could be the people who refuse to pay for the services of protection that they so need. Doesn't matter. What matters is who's going to fill that void. Are you going to do it?
Or what about you? Or any of you?
Your Honor, objection leading the witness.
And what witness would that be, Carl?
No. Your Honor, he's right. I am leading the witness. All of them. I'm their leader. I'm their voice. I'm the voice that cries out no more. My fate is in your hands, just like the trust that you put in me. I'm giving my trust back. All that I ask is that you do what is right, not what's easy. Because that's what got us here in the first place. Thanks. The defense rests, Your Honor.
Counselor?
First, Mr. Croft, bravo on the moving soliloquy. I'm sure we all feel safer knowing that your conscience and a .38 help keep the city safe. But what about Jerry Harrison? Who kept him safe? Who speaks for him now? Jerry Harrison was a good man. Not one of the thugs that Mr. Croft speaks of. And yet he is dead. Shot in cold blood. Put there by our voice of the people. How many more Jerrys will have to suffer from Mr. Croft's conscience? Maybe next time it'll be you. Or someone in your family. See, that's what it's all about. Trusting in the system, ladies and gentlemen, not in the whims of some masked man with delusions of grandeur. This is real life, Mr. Croft, not some comic book or some Hollywood B-movie. In those stories, an innocent bystander like Jerry Harrison wouldn't die. Where's the happy ending for him? Well, we're waiting, Mr. Croft. Where's the happy ending?
Just because they're not all happy endings doesn't mean that there aren't any.
Well, I don't see any, Mr. Croft. Not for Jerry Harrison, and not for the law-abiding citizens of Nashville. You are guilty, sir. Guilty of the same crime for which you stand in judgment of others. You've broken the social contract binding us to the rule of law. That's where we get our real humanity, our real voice. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Well then, let's get this road on the show. I want to remind the jury to refer to your instructions before deliberation and to the police evidence that the defendant stipulated to yesterday. I declare this jury in recess.
All right.
After a long, hot summer of crime and punishment, the people of Nashville hold their collective breath, but for very different reasons. Some see their professional careers hanging in the balance. Others see the safety of their city at stake. Fighter or fraud, patriot or profiteer, sinner or saint. Who is Christopher Croft?
He's a good old boy. Watches out for a lady.
Definitely split personality.
Menace to society. Looking out for the little guy.
And this guy Croft has shown nothing but blatant disregard for the laws from the beginning.
I'm just glad he's on our side.
Damn straight.
I don't care who he is, as long as he's nearby.
Jury, have you reached the verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Will the defendant please stand? How say you?
In the case of the people of the state of Tennessee versus Christopher Croft, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. On all charges.
Are you shitting me?
Order. That's enough.
Your Honor, I move for an immediate mistrial.
How's that, Carl? You picked the jury yourself.
But, Your Honor,
That's enough, Carl. Sit down. Son, you can start lining up in talk shows and counting your money till the cows come home. But if I catch you in my courtroom again, I'll show you what justice really is.
I understand, Your Honor.
Now get out of here. All of you.
Christopher Croft, a.k.a. the Crusader, a free man today in Music City, and the crowd seems to be in full support. There he is, Christopher Croft, the Crusader, a man who divided a city, a country, a world. Oh my God, gunshots! What is... Oh, get over there, Bob, get over there. Oh my God, he's down! He's down, the Crusader is... He's down! This is incredible! Are you getting this? Is he... Oh dear. Christopher Croft, the first Crusader, continues from beyond the grave to define and yet defy the very notions of an American hero. Next week, we'll walk the mean streets of Singapore, where the Indonesian Crusader wreaks havoc on the local drug and prostitution rings. It's the Beast from the East, on a special international edition of American Heroes. I'm Stephen Blake. Good night, and be safe.
Today, like any other day, everyone is up in my business. Get the f*** out of my face. Don't wanna talk to you, you don't know me and what I am. My life, my pain, things I do. You will never understand my soul, my game. Be warned, I have just begun to play. To take away the pain, I'll do anything. I need a taste of a new religion. I never want to be forgiven. What have you found that makes you special now? Bringing you down is so poetic now. You make me want to punish you. I need a taste of a new religion. You'll never know that I never want to be, 'cause it makes me feel like I am nothing. I need a taste of a new religion, and it makes me feel so right. Never want to be, 'cause it makes me feel like I am nothing. I am nothing. Monsters, scary. Monsters, scary. I need a taste of a new religion. You'll never know that I never want to be, 'cause it makes me feel like I